He's managed to get himself on the inside, but he's caught up on the curve. Sean Allen, the outside special. We've had a huge crash. This can't be real. I think he might have the strong done finally. Even Warwick gives him no space. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. Turn point. He's taken out Bruce Dean as well. Oh, big moment there. Kurt Stenberg on his roof. Big crash at turn 4. That is an unfortunate huge crash. Oh, the huge wiggle on thought he was clear. The late move, final corner, that's the death!
Hello and welcome everybody to Automobilista Supercars Championship Round 11, back here again from the streets of Reid Park in Townsville. Joining me as ever are my lovely co-commentators Colin, Warwick and Thomas McMillan. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good, Kurt. How are you guys?
I'm good, Kurt. Tom? Here we are again, Townsville.
I'm excellent. I am excited.
It's a beautiful 24.3 degrees Celsius outside.
Is it?
So, yeah.
That is high.
And I'm assuming that the racing will get hotter than that, because tonight we've got the biggest field we've had in Super 2. That's exciting.
We do have the biggest field that we've ever had in Super 2, and we'll be going through all the drivers and stuff in due time. We've got a number of new runners with us, so I'm just going to flick to the times at the minute. So at the minute we've got Benjamin Dahlia who's setting the pace as per normal, so it's as it is normally out there with Dahlia on the top of the timesheets. But in second place we've got Alex Cattle, who's joined us from main game. He's come back here for bit of an evaluation, I guess you could call it.
Bit of driver development.
Bit of a driver development. So Alex Cattle, main game driver, is joining us in the Super 2 tonight. So we'll see how he goes out there. Hans Brunswick, who's in third, who's back again with a vengeance. Expect him to do well tonight.
Yeah, they've repaired the car from last week, which is good. Ripped the front end out, as Thomas told us last week. So hopefully he doesn't do the same tonight. Hopefully he has a good run.
Hopefully so. In fourth we've got RSM Latino, who's our championship leader and usual front-running combatant. So we'll be interested to see how he goes tonight, whether he can bounce back and, well, not really bounce back, whether he can do anything to stop Dahlia's current run of form.
Well, that's it. If you can't finish first, you want to finish in the best, or the next best possible position, which is second place. So he'll probably be looking to finish somewhere around there, if he can't get to the pace of Ben, which is blistering at the moment.
Exactly right. So in fifth we've got Lime Mitch, who's joining us tonight. Don't think he has run with us before. I'm familiar with him from other leagues, but I don't think he has run with us before. But he'll be running in Steve Burko's AG Power Tools car, as Steve is unable to join us this evening.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially for the championship hunt with Steve. So hopefully he can join us at the Bend in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, that's unfortunate tonight that he can't join us.
It is unfortunate. Just going to flick through. We've got Steve Warwick, the 6-year-old man. He'll be hoping to bounce back a little bit from his recent run of form.
Yeah, hoping so. He's having a bit of wheel issues at the moment. We're trying to play around with it and figure it out. So he's running a Thrustmaster wheel, and as we know, I run a Fanatec, so a bit different. But yeah, hopefully he can stick it somewhere near the front.
We've got Dane Liccardo in 7th with finally got the correct pronunciation of his name, so he's an up-and-coming driver and he'll be looking for a strong result. He's got the lights on there and he's trying to put the times down.
Yep, signaling that he's on a heater, so see what he does at the end of this lap. He's done pretty well so far to be in P7.
Definitely has done well.
Ooh, there's a yellow flag.
Wait, you see a yellow flag, can you, Thomas?
And
Liam Bardo's back again. He's in P8. He's currently not out on the track, but we've got Lachlan Burke, who managed to join us for race 2 last week, so he's back again for another run in this championship, a newcomer.
He's just jumped to P9, so good job there for Lachlan.
It is. Got Lachlan Horan in 13th. Oh, so 10th, sorry, what the fuck am I saying? Oh, there. I'm losing my brain. We've got Matt Cecil in 11th. He's a bit further down the order than we'd normally be used to seeing, with Claimbo at 12th in this session. Stenny 13th. Brap at 14th with new colours on the car. Nice new livery there for Brap Auto Sports.
Yeah, car looks good.
Does look good. We've got Rody, who's joined us again. Hasn't raced since Newcastle last year, so it's good to see Rody back, and he'll be running the
welcome back, Rody.
Running the Lightning McQueen livery. Mad Rabbit in 16th has joined us again. Cameron, how would you say the surname?
Parrot, like
Parrot.
Yeah, I was going to say Parrot, but I don't want to say it wrong. So he's joining us, a newcomer as well. Don't know his background in sim racing, but I think he's pretty fresh to AMS, so be interested to see how he goes.
He's trucking along alright so far.
Michael Pollard has rejoined us, having not raced since I think the first Darwin event, so it's good to see him back. With Sid Goose in 19th, Dodger in 20th, and Steve Guyot in 21st at the minute. Let's see who is setting laps.
nearly in the 10th range here, boys. Here in pit lane, the Alex Cattle sectors is gonna have the relative up for qualifying, and they reckon he can do a 10.9. He's at the mentor of Sean Allen, top 5 main game driver.
Yep, I've seen Sean, who's he's in the server and also in the Discord. He's helping Alex out tonight, so it's got someone pretty powerful on his side there as engineer, spotter, / coach, I guess.
Yeah, I just had to step away for a second there to do some engineering with the old man. So, you know, a few of us main game guys help out some of these guys to get them up onto pace, which is really good. Like, you know, we're all for that, all for improving the show.
Exactly right. Well, I'm always open to help guys myself, and so are you, Carl. As best as we can. If anyone ever actually wants any help, they can send us a message. I mean, I don't actively help anyone in this series because Thomas McMillan acts as the driver, coach, and engineer for my father. Don't ask why. He doesn't listen to me. I'm telling you. That's why Thomas is more skillful in that area than myself. So, but it's good when main game guys come and help these guys.
Sorry, I'm back in the comms box, boys. Just had to let the dog inside, but yeah, I'm really enjoying helping your old man out there, Stenny. He's learning a lot, and he's getting faster. So hopefully he puts on a show tonight.
That is good, mate. It's good that, you know, guys, a lot of us guys have been doing this for a long time, so we kind of take for granted some of our knowledge, and sometimes it's good to be able to pass that knowledge on. These guys don't have the experience. They don't necessarily know some of the things that we've managed to pick up in our time sim racing, so it gives us the opportunity to pass on that knowledge to make them improve.
Yeah, well, that's right. And Tom letting the dog in the commentary box, if we remember Sandown last year, you let a turkey in the commentary box. So.
That was a rooster.
Oh, Rooster, yeah. Steven the Rooster.
He still lurks. He hasn't come into the commentary box though. Only when there's a big crash at turn 6 Sandown.
Yeah, he definitely has a few things to say then, doesn't he?
He gets excited.
So that session's drawn to a close, the practice server, so we'll be getting a run in qualifying shortly. It's a 15-minute session. Who is your pick for pole tonight? I honestly can't call it tonight. I reckon it's very close for the front runners.
I reckon Steven the Rooster's got a good shot at it. Nah, in all honesty, probably Ben. I mean, his pace is blistering. So I reckon he'll have pole. He had the double pole and all the race wins last time we were here, so yeah, just can't put it past him, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you, but I'm gonna just throw a punt at Alex Cattle. Main game guy needs a bit more confidence, and he's behind the wheel, and I feel like tonight's gonna be a good night for him. So I'm hoping that tonight's able to give him the confidence he needs to get some more laps and experience under his belt and go better in the future.
I'd have to agree with you there, Kurt. I do think Alex Cattle's got the experience of main game and handling the pressure, so I think he could do quite well under the mentor of
We've
Sean
already had
Allen.
a car that's disobeyed the rules. Going out of the pits. We've now had two
It's
cars
like
disobey the rules and go out of the pits.
Steve Guyer.
Both those
been a bit
cars
of
will be
controversy down
receiving
the pit
massive
lane.
penalties because they've actually disobeyed the red light as well as the as just the pit lane thing. So those cars will be notes made to the stewards.
Yeah, that's just dangerous.
It's against the rule book, and these guys clearly have not read the rule manual if they're doing stuff like that, which really.
Well, it's actually in the driver briefing notes as well, which we post.
Yep, it is
quite
actually always
frequently,
on the
so-
driver briefing note every round. So
Bit silly on their behalf, but all learning.
it is all learning. I don't know what I'm doing with cameras at the minute. I was going to get it on board.
Plenty of guys, bro.
Benjamin Dahlia when he goes onto his lap. Just go ride with him here on the out lap.
Yeah, it looks like the car's pretty well set up.
I does.
Have the volume up here, guys, before we go on board with the hot lap here from Dahlia.
Here he comes down the straight, heading into turn 1, it's past pink, on hard on the brakes.
Keep an eye on the sectors for everyone.
Yep,
Second gear corner, that one tough braking zone. There, Kurt.
done a pretty good job of that. Broken pretty much where I would on here, and he's taken a lot of curb, but that's in line. He's done a 21.3 the first sector, that's very good for the first sector, that's for these guys. About a 21 lap for main game guys, so he's on it.
Approaching traffic.
He's approaching traffic. Hopefully Dodger does get out of the way. He's missed the apex there slightly, and also here.
One driver to watch out for is Alex Cattle. He's done a 21.1 to the first sector.
Oh, that is fast.
Just sort of got out of the way there.
This is going to be close at the end of these laps because Benjamin's gone 0.2 faster than Alex to the middle, and Alex has gone 0.2 faster to the first sector. So this will be all down to the last sector here on these first laps.
He's done an 11.8 on that lap, so we'll go back. Currently Latino's crossed the line. I'll see if I can get a static camera at the finish line. Just for now, as we see all the times come up onto the board.
Yeah, Alex to P1.
P1 at the minute. Sid goes to 7th. Time's coming in. Got a car around in the background. I think that's Nissan Altima of iMitch. So he's had an incident. There's a couple of cars that have gone around actually.
Yeah, Dodgers just crashed.
Keep an eye on it. So Hans Brunswick's now actually gone to P1. So
Good time.
I don't have live timing up. So
He actually wasn't. He wasn't the fastest to any of the sectors. He just combined the lap. So
It's
very good.
Gone around in the foreground, so he's messed up his. Wow.
well, Alex went even faster to the first sector, 21.113, but then must have got balked by traffic in the middle because he's 2 seconds away from fastest second sector. As you can see there when he completes the lap, so he'll press on again. First sector now. 21.2, that's still in the ballpark. Someone went straight ahead.
Interesting where that sector split is there, Cole, because it's right in the braking zone, so you could overshoot it
Yeah,
past
yeah.
the sector. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly
not
right.
necessarily, if you get, it could be a slower first sector, but it's actually faster because you get the exit.
See now Hans Brunswick does an 11.0,
Oh,
so yeah, that's right on it. That's lap record pace.
It is lap record pace. So he hasn't done a good first sector. I need to get the live timing up myself. Sorry guys, I'm doing a few things and managing here.
it's alright, mate. I reckon we're going to see a 10 in this session.
I reckon we
I
are
think
as
so.
That'd be an amazing lap if someone could do that.
I mean, the track conditions are there to do it. Track and air temp has come up a little bit.
The track surface looks a little bit slippery, to be honest. A lot of people are having incidents, it seems.
They are. I am.
That's Benjamin Dahlia starting on the lap.
So there's some issues. We've got people in the chat. We've got Brian Walsh in the chat. I'll say hi to him. Daniel Cox has said, get good hands. So Hand has got good, he's almost at the lap record. Big field to the... Wow, I hope we have the cleanest best drivers from Mr. D. Beachy. Hi Beachy, how are you going? Good to have you along for the ride.
Beachy was here, it wouldn't be that clean, so
Yeah, and Sean Allen said good field. It is a very good field tonight, we must say. It's
very good field.
one of the strongest, it's the strongest field in numbers that we've had so far in this series.
And not only is it strong, it's very competitive as well.
It is competitive, so
it seems everyone's got someone to battle, which is exactly what we want.
it's exactly what we want. We don't want people out there. It says, oh, no call out for Tim. Well, hi Tim, he said go Hans. So plenty of Hans Brunswick fans out there, and it's good to see people
It
along
is.
for the ride to have a bit of a gander at what's going on out here. I'm gonna just see. Blind Mitch has now moved up to 4th. I've missed. I do actually now have live timing on my second screen, so I've managed to progress to that stage of the evening.
Mic off.
We can also see Steve Warwick leading the Dad Cup at the moment.
Steve Warwick is leading the Dad Cup at the minute. We were asked by Peter
Considering,
Stenberg to mention the Dad
yeah.
Cup, and he probably shouldn't have said that unless he was going to actually put in lap times in which that would be worthy of winning the Dad Cup.
But at the
Yes,
moment,
improved.
he's 2 seconds away at the moment.
Alex Cuttle's on an outlet. Hans Brunswick's coming around.
Make that 1.5.
So we've had Mr. D. Beachy in the live chat say, I know not to leave the pits under red light. You do, Beachy.
Good
That's
boy,
one thing
Beachy.
I will actually give you. It's good work, Beachy. Alex Cuttle's still on the outlap, so we'll watch Hans here for a bit in the wild card. No, haven't seen anyone light the sector splits alight. Do have Ben Dahlia's going to improve
Here
to
we go.
4th place. So Hans Brunswick's now up on his time. So who's going to do the first 10? Judging by the times I've seen during the week, I know both Cattle and Brunswick are capable of 10s, so we'll see if they're able to do it. He's still up, but he's up by enough to do a 10, but will he be able to hold this through the last sector? Lachlan Burt Racing has said hello, hello, hello. Aren't you meant to be driving? Is my question.
Yeah,
He's actually up at
shouldn't have his
P6,
phone in the car.
Lachlan Burt, you may say.
First sector here from Atlas Cattle, 21-1.
That's the fastest, I think. That's not purple, but one of the fastest sectors we've seen so far.
About 5 thousandths off.
So Hans hasn't
And
improved, so we're going to go back here. Lime Mitch has just jumped up into P2 actually. So he's done a 11-2.
Alex
Cattle
Cattle's gone
is
purple
by
to the middle.
a mile,
Wow,
so he's gone purple to the middle.
4 tens.
So this will be probably our first 10.
He's done a 16.5. 16.5 to the middle sector. That's super fast.
Oh, he's thrown the lap away. 2 corners in a row here.
Yeah, he's missed the apex here, but we'll
Should
see if
still
he
have
can
enough.
finish the lap time off.
Yep.
And
No.
he's not done the time, so
Wow.
unfortunately he's way off, but it's a terrible last sector there from him. I'm just going to have a look. Brunswick's not on a particularly great first sector, as we see Steve Guy go around in the background. Oh, and again, race control might be having a word to him before the end of this session about his driving standards, because they're struggling to meet the minimum requirements of the series at this stage. Dahlia had no time on that lap, so he must be on an out lap. Alex Cattle is up again on his time. He actually went purple to the first sector. He did 21.0, which is very competitive in the first sector.
Wow. Yeah.
Like that's main game spec first sector.
We can already see that.
He's a main game driver, so you'd expect him to be setting the pace, and he's not been able to do the time again. He's fallen away in the middle and last sector. Just gonna see what Dahlia is
If you
on.
combine the 3 best sectors, you're well into the 10s. Or it'd be a low 10-8.
Yeah, it'd
And just
be
2 tenths up.
Hans is 2 tenths up.
Yes.
We'll watch Hans. Still not great at the pressure, says Sean Allen. That's why he's here, to work on that. So hopefully he can work on the doing the lap under the pressure.
This will be a 10.
Will be a 10.
Oh.
It's 10-8 for Hans Brunswick. He goes to the top, so he's our current pole sitter.
Great lap.
It's a very good lap there for
That'll be a
Hans.
front row of the grid.
Yeah, I'd say that's guaranteed Hans to the front row here. But then again, there are some competitive drivers in this field. So he's going to escape out the pits. We're going to see what Lime Mitch is able to punch in. He's on an out lap. Apparently it seems. Alex Cattle is on a lap. Not purple, but we'll see. He's now into the 10s as well, and he puts himself in P2.
Good
so
lap.
he's finally pumped a 10 out. Dahlia is struggling to get near these guys. It's good for Benjamin to have some tough competition here tonight. Looks like he's backed out of it. He's going to go for another run. Is anyone lighting up the timing screen? I haven't seen any particularly good first sectors at the minute. I will say I'm impressed at Tino.
Yeah, he's on the lap now.
Starting a lap now. So he's down in 5th, that's a bit lower than normal for him, but with some of the talent in front of him, I can understand why Tino has awarded that lap. Lachlan Burke is in 6th, and I'll say that's an impressive performance from him. One I've seen much driving from, but he's doing pretty well out there. Warwick is in 7th, and he's up on his personal best lap time.
We've got 2 drivers in the 10s.
We do have 2 drivers in the 10s. I'll say it's close lap times all the way up and down this field, so I feel like it's going to be a very competitive race here tonight. So I'm just going to say, I have just seen that Line Mitch has done the fastest first sector, but he's also just completely sprayed the lap and put it in the fence.
Yeah. We've got not enough time remaining.
Yeah, Alex Cannell's going to be up for another run, so he's semi-confident in his ability, obviously, to get pole position.
Well, you do it. If you got the tyres, just go for it.
Yeah, well, these guys, unlike Maine, I've mentioned it before, they have unlimited tyres, so they can go out as many times as they want. It's getting held up by Colin. Is actually on a hot lap, but Cattle's on an out lap, so looking to see what he does here.
First sector here from Matt Cecil, lining up the tyres. He's a tenth and a half up on himself and only 3 tenths down to the first sector.
That's impressive there from
Matty
Matt.
Tackle
I'll
down
actually go
13.
look at that. Oh, you've seen Steve Warwick have a moment as we've been flicking through the cameras. He's having
Big
a
moment.
there. Well flicked to Matt, give him some coverage. He's been struggling around this track. It's not been a really strong venue for him. Of course, he scored a podium at Sydney Motorsport Park, so he's a reasonably fast driver at times in this series, but just been struggling on this street circuit. Hey all, tuning in while working on the VX up at 93 to 2002 mode. Hi, Nathan Hickson.
Just went up to 11th.
That's up to 11th there from Matt. I'm just going to go back to our guys that there are at the front, because I'm seeing that Hans Brunswick's on a lap. Doesn't look to be improving, but I'm going to see what Alex Cattle's on. He is also not improving.
Line Mitch, not on a lap either.
No, Line Mitch is done for the session. He's
I say we're done. Nice. I say that's it.
Oh, Peter Stenberg's on his roof.
Is he? Peter Stenberg is on his roof. We'll flick to that.
Just gone back to the pit.
Yeah, it's just gone back to the pits, but we can get a replay of this.
Let's have a look.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done what
it's
Brad
that
did last
curb.
week, and he's just hit the curb and...
Oh, I'm not happy about that one.
He's in a world of hell there.
I'll have to get the spare car out for the race.
Might do, and shout out to the commentators, I'll drink to that. Thanks, Beachy. I'll drink to your comment.
So will I. Drink my water.
Yeah, I'm drinking water as well. So that's a field, apparently. So pretty close times. The whole field is pretty much within 4 seconds, so other than a couple of outliers. So we wait now until this warm-up session, and we had this 16-lap race underway. So yeah, I will actually just quickly, for the viewers at home, I will flick up tonight's schedule because we haven't spoken about that yet. We're obviously just finished that 15-minute qualifying session. We've got 2 16-lap races here tonight. So, same as last week. With a qualifying session in between to set the grid for the second race. The more interesting though this week, I feel like last week was interesting with safety car and whatnot in race 1, but I just feel with the way the field is this week, we're going to be in for a mixed result. We don't know who's going to win this. I was playing F1, but I realised Super 2 was live. Well, that's good. It's good to have you on board watching the broadcast.
Right guys, I'm back in the commentary box again.
I've had...
What was it this time? Dog? Cat?
Yep. The same dog.
check my messages on Discord rather, sorry guys.
So you're going to want to use this warm-up session to do practice starts and learn how to heat up the front tyres and the brakes for the race and just prepare yourself mentally for the start of the race. What would you be doing if you're in this session here, Kyle?
I'll be doing last minute, probably. Well, our races are a bit different. Like we've got the pit stop stuff and that, so be practicing probably on an old set of tyres. I'd obviously do a practice start and maybe have a look at last minute fuel number check on a lap, see how much fuel I use per lap. Because if it's a longer race and you've got to put fuel into the car, you sort of want to know what your fuel burn is. But yeah, other than that, just get a feel for the car on an older set of tyres.
Yep, that's it. That's a good way to go about it. I know I do the same. It's a different mentality, these sprint races.
Yeah, that's right. Plus, luckily with Super 2, they have the luxury of not having ×2 tyre wear like we do, so they can run a bit longer on their sets of tyres, whereas we got to factor in the tyre wear, which is really enjoyable, to be honest.
It is. We got to actually take care of our tyres instead of just a hard out sprint race we've got to manage. So
yeah.
But anyways, this is what makes Super 2 good with the sprint racing.
Sprint racing. We will have another pit stop. We've had a pit stop race at Barbagallo, and we will have another one coming at Mount Panorama. Until then, though, we're in sprint format for this series as per normal. So we'll have 2 more sprint races at the bends in the coming weeks, and then we're onto the mountain for what will be pretty sure 125-kilometre race at this stage, but
yes,
yet to be confirmed. Let's watch everyone doing their final prep. So 21 car field tonight. That's very impressive.
Very good for the series, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a record. It's a record field. We have. We're not going to lie. We were struggling for numbers in both series earlier on in the year, but now we've got a bit of normality in our lives, and we've got supercars back on, and it seems we've got plenty of drivers who are eager to come out and have a go, and it's really good to see. As an admin, I couldn't be happier.
Well, that's it. And in saying that, if there is people out there still watching that want to join, feel free. There's still numbers available, and
yep, space available in both series, and also with the Bathurst 1000 coming up on the 1st of November. That's sure 100% confirmed yet, but there'll be places available for drivers to come and just run that event if they wish to.
How good is it seeing some new guys up the front as well, seeing Hands up the front and Alex and Lime Mitch? How good is it giving Dahlia and RSM Latino running for their money?
Dahlia, and now with Burko not here tonight, it adds another mix into the thing. These guys have been racing each other all year. Now they get the opportunity to race against other guys that at a higher pace, but also, you know, they don't know how. I mean, with Latino and Ben, they probably know how Alex races from running in the main, but yeah, Hans and Lime Mitch are 2 drivers they wouldn't have really come across so far. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that and what the respect level is between all these drivers.
Yeah, will be interesting. I mean, we spoke to RSM Latino just before the event, and he said he's all for it and looking forward to it. So it'll be interesting to see how Latino and Ben go against these guys, because they're fighting for their own championship at the moment. So they won't want to push too hard and make a mistake and cause a DNF to ruin their championship. So I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Massive grid here, so there's a high potential rate of safety cars. So I reckon there'll be more than one, but we'll see what happens.
Anything to report from the pits, Tom?
There's not really much going on here. Just all the teams are preparing, and yeah, they're just lining them all up, getting ready for the formation lap.
This should be very good.
Yeah, the start's really, you really need to get it right, or you track position is key around this track. So,
With such a long run to effectively what we would call turn 1, but it's actually turn 2 on this track.
it's a key.
Yeah. You know, if you don't get the best start, you're just going to fall behind people. So, you know, you got to get your start right and just protect the inside if you do get a bad start to try and hold onto position.
Yeah, so if you get a good start here, Cole, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to the outside? Are you going to go to the inside? What are you going to do coming into turn 2?
Depends on the car in front. If you're catching them and there's an opportunity to go down the inside, then take it. But if there's a train of cars on the inside, I usually just dive to the left and try and outbrake and hold it around the outside, and hopes that they see you and don't run you into the fence.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
yeah, I assume most people do the same. So
Alright, we'll let Kurt go through the order here.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly flick through the order. So we've got Hans Brunswick, who's on pole position from Alex Cattle. Line Mitch, I was about to say Steve Burko, but it's Line Mitch in P3 and the Steve Burko AIG powered machine. With Benjamin Dahlia in P4, his lowest qualifying for a while. With RSM Latino in 5th. Lachlan Burke in 6th. Steve Warwick in 7th. Liam Bard in 8th. Dane Liccardo in 9th. Rapp in 10th. Matt Cecil in 11th, who's out of order on the pace lap. Mad Rabbit in 12th, so that's a good qualifying from him. Lachlan Haran in 13th. McLean Bite in 14th. Rhodey in 15th. Steady in 16th. Cameron Parrott in 17th. Michael Pollard in 18th. Sid Goose in 19th. Dodger in 20th. And Steve Guy runs out of field, and I've got some admin stuff to do.
There's actually contact coming to the grid box there for our hands and Lime Mitch. Lime Mitch ran to the back of him. Yeah.
well, here we go.
Here we
The
go.
light should come on now.
Green.
Right.
And we're underway, and it's Hans
Oh, great
Brunswick
start.
who's the latest turn 1 is a good start from him, and it's all on the background. We've had cars hitting the fence on the run into turn 1, but we've got a side-by-side battle here for P2 between Line Mitch and Thing, and we've got in the spin
around.
is Dave Ricardo around. So Alex Cattle's now looking to make a move on Line Mitch. He's up the inside, but he's not going to get that one done. Or is he?
Yeah, it just looked like Ricardo was too aggressive and just looped it himself. He looked to dive with about 3 or 4 people coming into turn 2, so bit of his own mistake there, but this is a great battle at the front.
It's a great battle at the front. Alex Cattle has now prevailed in P2, but they've let Hans Brunswick get away with a massive lead here on this opening lap. He's got 2 seconds on this field, and they're going to continue to fight down here into this hairpin.
Yeah, he'll be looking in the mirror going, yeah, keep going boys, keep doing what you're doing.
And now Dahlia's trying to buy into this fight. So we've got a 3-way fight for P2. Meanwhile, Steve Warwick's now going to buy into this fight in a second. Oh, there's contact, and Steve, oh my god, Steve Warwick has gone into the fence with massive pace, so we're going to get a replay of that.
Oh, that was a big crash.
Sorry, we're having it. So, trying to get hold of Steve Warwick car, get a replay. What the hell has happened here? RSM Latino's gone for a massive dive, and unfortunately it's put Steve Warwick onto his roof, so he's going to be stuck in the wall, and that's going to be retirement for Steve Warwick there. He's not going to get that car out of the fence.
Is that a safety car?
That's a safety. We do have the safety car on the circuit.
Yeah.
That'll be for the Steve Warwick car. He's managed to get that car out of the fence.
How did he get that out of the catch fence?
I'm going to get a
How is he
replay
not
here.
injured?
He's completely stuck in the fence here. Completely stuck in the fence. And he's glitched.
That's a bit of a Jesus take the wheel moment.
That is absolutely bizarre, but he's out of the track, but he's caused the our Mustang pace car into the circuit. And we've had Lachlan
Got a
Burke
shape.
who's disappeared, and he's gone down the lap, so I'm not sure if that's an internet-related issue. The safety car is
Safety
now
car
coming out on the circuit.
It's going to shake up the championship for you guys, because I reckon it's going to, RSM Latino will get some sort of penalty for that incident.
Will do. That was a very aggressive
think
dive
you're right
there
there.
from Latino. Yeah, not much really to say about that. Made some aggressive moves, both those guys that were involved in that incident, and yeah, it's ended poorly there for Steve, but he's lucky he's been able to even continue in this race.
Oh, there's been a massive crash down the straight, another safety car.
Who's the...
Someone has gone flying, I'm not sure who it is, but it's killed Peter Stenberg. It's Lachlan Burke. Gone spiraling down the straight. Massive accident.
Peter Stenberg's out of this race, so...
Yeah, okay, wow.
It's just down the straight after here.
Oh, he's just lost it coming in.
There was another accident. Oh, it might be the start of this lap, yeah. It did start of that lap.
So where was this? Where's this? Because Peter Stenberg...
So you see all the marks there?
Yeah, see all the marks there, but Peter Stenberg...
I think it was Lachlan Burke, because we just got the message in the Discord saying that his screen's blacked out, so...
Yeah, well we saw him sitting there at turn 1 and there was nothing on the screen, so... We'll see if we can get a replay. It's going to be a lot of rewinding here, but... Bear with us, we do want to try and get some pictures off this.
It was a big crash, many cars involved.
It's before the safety car.
Okay, there we go. Oh. Oh, wow.
This has actually been a huge crash, so... The screens are obviously blacked out. He's
Oh,
come back into...
wow.
Oh! That's a huge
Oh my
crash!
God.
He's back...
That's
Oh!
Oh, my...
jeez.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
That's an absolutely huge crash there. It's been...
I feel for Peter Stenberg, he's had a car land on his windscreen.
There's really not really anything that can be said about that, but it's not really anyone's fault. It's Lachlan Burke's had an unfortunate drama there, and it's really just come out. It's happened at a really, really poor time. So it's unfortunate for everyone involved, but there's not really much you can do about it. So it's left Lachlan Burke and Stenny as retirees from the race.
It's going to be a
But
big
that's
repair
a
bill
weird
for the
crash.
Pepsi Sport car.
That is a weird crash to have under safety car, but when a car just stops on the track, there's not really a lot that anyone could do about it. Like no one really knew what was going on, so everybody's close checked up.
I think now that we've saw that replay, I think that's what the safety car was for.
I have to agree.
Yeah, I might say so too. I mean, we thought it was for Steve Warwick in the wall, but quite clearly it was for Lachlan Burke who had a screen failure. And what a critical moment to have a screen failure as well at the end of the straight and bounce back into traffic on opening laps. It's unfortunate, but it's just racing. Unfortunately, when you're doing sim racing, as you can have hardware failures just as you can have in real life, and it's a very unfortunate hardware failure to have, but I don't like to use the cliches that other sim racing commentators use, but it is no different than having a brake failure or something, especially in that regard, as it's just failed and he's ended up in the fence, and unfortunately many other drivers are involved.
So it's lap 4, coming to lap 5. You're under safety car. What's your mentality here, Colin?
Oh, just calm the nerves. Focus on your job ahead. I mean, those first couple of laps were wild, just all up and down the field. So just calm the nerves. Try and get a good restart and just settle into a rhythm. That's all you got to do. And then from there, assess what your pace is and the guys around you, and just make the moves where necessary if you're faster than them.
It's really critical here for Hans to get that start, get that reaction time, so he hasn't get the turn 1, so he doesn't get dived. As you saw from last week when Ethan Warren was leading and I got the jump on him and was able to go up the inside, so it's really critical to get that start right.
Yeah, I agree.
big reset here for Hans, who had a 2-second lead before the safety car came out, so now he's got the pressure of having cattle right back on his bumper.
Well, that's right. He got a great start and just led from there, and he would have saw the boys in the mirror battling, and he would have said, "Go, boys, keep doing what you're doing." And the safety car comes out, and yeah, see how it goes from here.
We did hear from Hans early in the week. He does get nervous when he's under pressure here. He's prone to mistakes, so he's keeping it calm.
He is keeping calm at the minute, but this is a very, very high pressure situation.
We saw it last week going through where they've just gone through now.
Live scenes here with Peter Stenberg on the blower. Here he goes, starting the restart here. And Brunswick, he's got to wait for that green flag, and he's got to get on the throttle hard. He's waiting, he's waiting.
Green flag goes very, very late at this
Green,
track.
green, green.
Here we go, the green flag is on, and we've got no one with penalties. But
Good start by Alex Cuttle.
it's a good start by Alex Cattle. Good start by Benjamin Dahlia as well. Had an overlap on line match before the line, which is allowed. And now they're going to go 3 wide, and there's a shun in the background, and that's Dodger in contact.
Look at this.
3 wide, and Hans Brunswick's had to give the hip and shoulder. Look, that's Brett that's gone around in the background.
Being collected by Matt Cecil. 3. Side by side, Latino and Dahlia.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that. So that was a lively restart there. We had 3 wide into turn 2. Line Mitch has dropped back to
Oh,
P5.
Hans. He almost rolled it.
He did almost roll it, and that's put Alex Cattle up the lead, but Alex is now gone off the road. He's rejoined into Hans, and this has now put RSM Latino back up into third, but Latino's on the brakes to avoid the crash.
Check up.
He's checked up, but now this has put him under pressure from Dahlia, so it's a war going on.
This is great to see. This is what we wanted.
These guys, this is going to be a lively fight here for the rest of this race.
That's one part of the track back there we don't want to be checking up, as we saw on the weekend with SVG and Cam Waters.
Exactly right.
Seeing Hans as a pit lane request. Don't know what's going on there.
That's an odd
But anyway,
thing. That's an odd thing to have. There's no compulsory pit stop in this race, so that's an odd thing to see. We see that Latino is now fighting with Dahlia again. So this battle continues. In the background, I'm going to go back. We've got Dane Liccardo and Matt Cecil side by side, and they're joined by Mad Rabbit, who is trying to buy into this fight.
Oh, big slide.
Big slide. That Sidkus is up into 10th from starting way back in 19th after the crashes and incidents at the start of this race. A lot of guys have profited from that accident at the start.
See what, someone else that's pushing through is Steve Warwick as he looks down the inside of Brody. He might even get 2 cars.
He's going to get Sidkus, he's going to get 2 cars into 1 here, so Steve Warwick moving his way back through the field.
Back up to 10.
Hans has a run here on Alex Cattle coming into turn 2.
We'll have a look. So Hans Brunswick's down the fastest of the race, and Matt Cecil's put it in the wall on the inside there in the fence. Disappointing for him.
On the inside.
But we'll go back to the front because we want to see this battle for the lead.
Backed out. Smart racing.
It's very, very smart racing. He's got 8 laps to make a move here, so he doesn't need to do anything silly if he does have pace over Alex. I think these guys are pretty easily matched on pace. It's just going to be who doesn't crack under the pressure. And Hans is putting bucket loads of pressure on Alex at the minute.
He's handling the pressure well though, Alex Cattle is.
He is. He's doing a terrific job there.
I'm sure he had that Sean Allen in his ears. Keep calm, don't make a mistake.
Well, as we know, Sean Allen is one of the hardest drivers to pass in main series, so someone like that in your ears is very handy to have.
It is. You'll be giving him plenty of advice of how to defend. Sean's a very good defender, so we're giving Alex all tips that he knows to keep Hans behind here. Hans is going to now have a look into turn 1. Alex has slightly moved over in the braking zone, but nothing too untoward.
Look at those last lap times. 0.007 faster was Hans over Alex.
Yep, so 7,000
nothing
of a
between
second last lap. And Hans also did a purple middle sector not last lap with the slower first sector, so both these guys are matching each other to the middle, basically to the final fucking timing second.
They've both done a 21.3.
Really close pace here, but can Benjamin catch up to them?
Can Benjamin catch up to
I don't
them?
reckon he's got the pace.
He wasn't fast the last lap. He was only a tenth off these guys, so he's not completely out of the window. But really struggling. We've noticed that Dane Liccardo has pitted, so he's obviously got damage. And Alex Cattle's done the fastest lap of the race. He is absolutely smashed it on that last lap. So he's now started to pull a bit of a gap on Hans, but it's still pretty close.
Yeah, so Alex owns the first and last sector, and Hans owns the middle sectors. So, interesting to see how the race unfolds from here.
Will be. The middle sector's the one sector that you can't really pass in, so it's not really
No.
the one you want to be fastest in, to be honest. Unfortunately for Hans.
On that lap, Hans was, well, on this lap, I should say, Hans was slightly faster to the first and a tenth faster to the second sector.
Hans
So,
has gone purple.
coming back at him.
Again. He's coming at him. Oh, he's got very close there, and he's actually tagged
he's
him.
giving him a tag.
He's almost turned him around, and this will
Very
let
aggressive.
Benjamin catch up. He's going to redress it, so that's good on him. But yeah, that tag is. He managed to get very close to him there, so this fight's going to be on. We've had another car come through at the pit lane. I'm not sure who that is.
That is Steve Guyat.
It is.
Wasn't he lap last
Here we go.
lap?
He was.
Here we go. We've got Hans down the inside. He's been squeezed there, so he's not going to be able to get it done. This
You can
battling
definitely
is
tell
bringing.
he's got Sean in here.
This battling will be bringing Benjamin back into this fight. Latino's running with Benjamin here as well, so it's one thing to keep an eye on for the championship.
It's a mistake there from Hans.
So much
It's
going on in the
like
front
fake.
that we're not really getting to see what's going on further back, which is a bit unfortunate.
There's not really much going on at the back there.
Yeah, it's been a lot of cars were wiped out with damage in there. I'm just going to go back and look at Dahlia and Latino. They're pretty close. You're on track at the minute. The battle's about to heat up again for the lead. Hans is all over the back of Cattle again. He's been forced to go around the outside here, but you can crisscross here and get a run. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So he's now going to be side by side up the straight. And Dahlia's made a mistake in the background. He's going to be vulnerable to RSM Latino.
Well, here we go.
2 by 2 by 2.
You can pass on the outside here, so it will be interesting to see what happens. Alex will be looking to park the bus. Hans is awake to that, and he's going to crisscross up the inside, and now he's now going to have the inside for the next corner. We notice RSM Latino in the background has made the overlap.
Yeah, in the background.
Oh, and Hans is still on the
On the
inside
back.
here, but he doesn't have enough of an overlap, so...
Oh,
Or does he? No, he doesn't have an overlap, so...
this is fantastic racing.
It is fantastic
Absolutely
racing.
fantastic.
But these
Yeah,
guys
just really
battling is
chugging
bringing
out the curves
Latino
there.
back into this fight.
A bit more patient here, I think. Kansas really killed his tyres.
He has. That car's very taily at the moment. He wants to just cool the tyres out a little bit.
On the ground.
Noticing that the front five in general is catching up. This line match is now not too far away from the back of these other guys that were squabbling a few minutes ago.
Brody's in the pits with damage.
Yeah, I believe that was his bonnet on the ground. On the track at turn 11 back there.
Tino's actually really fast here, making up the back.
chat has said that Cattle needs a little more mongrel. Well, I'm sure that you're going to train him into that. That's all I'm going to say.
They're avoiding the curves there, Cattle, and Hands is just rolling it over the curves.
He is, and that's probably why he's faster in the middle sector. Can I just raise that RSM Latino actually went purple to the first sector last lap, so he is catching
on
both
that
these
lap.
guys. Oh, that's a big moment from Hands. He's going to struggle to stop that. He's into the wall.
That's out.
I'll be surprised if that thing still runs.
Unlucky.
Over and out.
It could be a safety car.
I doubting it'll be a safety car with that offline, but yeah, that car is immobile. That is out of the race for Hans Brunswick. Unless yep, it's out of the race. He's retired. So it's an unfortunate incident, but really it's, you know, getting a bit loose there on those tyres, and he's just lost it and nowhere to go.
Yeah, he's a bit aggressive, too aggressive too early, so he's killed his rear tyres.
There's another yellow flag. You're a car running.
Car up
I
this
think he's
straight
off in
road.
the scope now.
It's a Misfits racing car. I'm not going to go and watch it.
The guy out there is crashed again.
Oh, Lime Mitch!
Taking out a car.
Lime Mitch going sideways through that corner like Brody Kostecki in the
That was
XLs
a
on the weekend. That was
huge
a
moment.
big slide there. So Lime Mitch is on it here as well. He's pushing to stay with these guys, but I think that they've kind of got the pace over him. He managed to stay here, but which has been
That was incredible car control.
and this fight between Latino and Dahlia is not over for P2. Must say, good performance here from Latino tonight. He's got one up on Dahlia. He was clearly not. How do I say this? He was clearly not as fast as him last week, but this week, with a good qualifying and a good race so far, he's been able to get in front of him and demonstrate that he can run with him.
Yeah, it's definitely a good bounce back, that's for sure.
This is what Latino needs to do if he wants to win this championship. He has to beat Ben. He can't come second every round and win the championship with the rate at which Ben has been racking up race wins. He can't afford to at this stage of the championship. He needs to get a result over him, even if it's just one spot.
The only thing that might hurt him is that contact with Steve Warwick.
Yeah, I'd
At
say
the end
he'll be
of
in
the
the
lap,
steward's room
so-
about that and say that that's going to affect him. So it might not be a net negative for him this race, even if he beats Ben. But at the same time, you've still got to go out and beat your nearest rival.
That's
We're getting a Hands in the chat and an F, so it's an F for Hands.
F.
F, big F. That's a big shunt. It's unfortunate to
That's a
go out of the
mistake.
race with a small little error like that. Is it a mistake for
I-
Valentino?
Got
I hope Hans had his Hans device on, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that was a huge frontal impact. Oh, Dahlia's having
Oh,
his Cattle's catching traffic ahead. He's caught Sid Goose and I think that's Michael Pollard. So hopefully those guys don't make it too difficult for everyone in this part of the field. This is the last lap, by the way, I will add, and Michael Pollard has got out of the way for these guys to allow him to continue to battle.
Tell you what, it's been a really good drive from Alex Cattle.
It has been a good drive from Alex Cattle. Oh, and Sid Goose has not made this easy for any of these runners, and there's been big contact. That's terrible driving there from Sid Goose. Really shocking driving. Needs to learn to let him out of the way. And this has caused Latino to end up in a crash in this race. So we're going to get a replay of that. That's not on. That's not how you let traffic go. He's tried to get off the racing line, but he's ended up on the racing line. And you don't get off the racing line at a corner like that. You don't do what he did there, and it's taken Latino out of a consecutive race too, out of a respective P2, and put him way down the order.
Tell you what, you're going to want to be hiding at the end of the back of pit lane if you sit Goose, because he's going to have an arse on the feet and chase it
But
up.
we are just going to go, and Alex Cattle has won that race and all that, with Dahlia in second, Limich in third, Liam Bard in fourth, Steve Warwick's going to come home at fifth.
good recovery.
Latino's going to crawl this damaged machine across his 6, he'll be very disappointed with it. He'll be fuming. That was just disgraceful driving. So Goose, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it as an admin and as a thing. That you need to be aware of your surroundings, especially when you've got leading cars on the track. And as someone who has raced for a long time in sim racing, I get really frustrated when I see guys that have no spatial awareness. I know that this is a development series, but you got to get your act together. It's 2 weeks in a row. Lachlan Horan has come home in 8th, with Matt Cecil in 9th, who's had a reasonable shunt after the line. Cameron Parrott has come across in 10th, so that's a good result for him on debut.
Yeah, good debut.
Claimbot in 11th. Mad Rabbit in 12th, so he must have found some dramas because he was up the order earlier on. Michael Pollard in 13th. Dane Liccardo is in 14th. He finished a lap down after the dramas. Sid Goose in 15th. Not even going to go into what I just saw. Brody in 16th. Dodger in 17th. And Hans Brunswick, Steve Guyat, and Stenny are our retirees. And Lachlan Burke are our retirees from that race. Well, that was a good race.
Yeah, lots of entertainment, a lot to dissect.
A lot to dissect. Some penalties, safety car,
Just
awesome battles. Some disappointing driving
at the
as
end
well. Yeah, it is disappointing. I mean, there's not really much to say about it.
Do you think we can get RSM Latino or Sid Goose in the box to talk about the incident here?
Well, we will see. We do have a short little break here. I don't mind staying on the air. Steve says he's in for the next race, so Burko's gonna be in for the next race. So that's
that's awesome.
If anyone wants to go and talk to Latino and ask him if he does want to come up for a chat about that,
I'll go have a chat to him.
Okay. Do a bit of pit reporting.
Sid Goose really showing what the second part of his name really means there.
Yeah, don't want to rattle on about it, but I'm just disappointed, honestly, as a steward. I hate to see those kinds of things. I know guys are learning and that, but last lap, you're in a non-competitive position, essentially in the race. Your guy that you're racing let the cars go for guy. You just got to let the guys through. You just got to be aware of what's going on. Especially, it's harder to part of the track like that. But you've just got to know what you're doing and what's going on. To be honest, not much can really be more said than that.
It's all a part of learning.
It's all a part of learning, and I don't mean to fry people, but
It's how someone learns, though.
It's affected the two major championship runners in that race. It's majorly affected their result there. So it's had an impact on the championship, and that's why I'm sort of disappointed about it.
Well, he'll learn that from next week. He'll watch his back and realise what he's done wrong, and he'll learn to hold his line, and then he'll be all good. So in those situations, even if you block him, if you hold that same line, you're predictable.
That's it. I mean, but that's what I mean. You're a lap down. You're going a lap down, and you've got no one really around you on the last lap. It's kind of like, just get off the road. I don't mean to say get off the road, and I don't mean to be mean like that, but he could have let them go earlier in that. Could have let them go way earlier in that before he even got to that section, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But he waited until the most difficult part of the track and then stayed on the racing line. And well, Latino went to go around him, and he moved over. And it is better to hit the grass and let them go. At the same time, though, I don't like to see people doing that. But in a scenario like that, where you've got two guys that are battling and you're not in your own race, it's probably the best option, to be honest. But yeah, Cole, you've been down to pit lane. You've walked out of the box, gone down to pit lane. You've spoken to the RSM racing driver. What are his thoughts after that race?
Yeah, not much other to say than that he's disappointed. Like he's pissed off. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's very pissed off and disappointed. So, like I said to him, these things happen, and he's just got to press on for the next qualifying and race. So, yeah, he's disappointed. He's going to calm down, and then he'll come back in and fight again. So, yeah, I'm disappointed for him, to be honest.
As the car exits pit lane under red light. Who's that? Steve Guyat.
Yeah, not very good.
Yeah. Anyways, so who's everyone's pick here for pole?
Yeah, look, I'm probably going to say Hans.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say Hans. He had good pace in that last race. I feel like he could have won that last race, but that incident probably went a bit hard too early, and then that incident sort of, well, once he had that little slide, and there's not really much you can do about. There's not really much you can do about that that incident when you lost control, and he was a passenger as soon as he was in the wall, and race over.
I reckon Alex Cattle here. I reckon he had the sectors, but he didn't piece the lap together. So we'll see how we go.
I'm going to be difficult and different, and I'm going to say Benjamin Dahlia. I don't know why, but he's been our pole sitter a number of times this year, and I feel like I've just got to throw a different name in there.
Could have adjusted the setup, tuned him up for this race. He definitely fucking struggled a bit last race.
I think we've got to remember, guys, we're going to have Steve Burko in this fight, this race, so he'll be able to match it with these guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to go from a top 5 fight to a top 6 fight. So, well, I'm imagining that Steve will be up in this fight, so this is going to be a race for the ages. Have enjoyed seeing the battles at the front of this field from these guys so far. The last couple of rounds, it's been mega to watch.
Definitely has. I mean, it's awesome to call as well. Like, it's very exciting. See a yellow flag.
Oh,
I mean,
Dahlia's
second one. Wow.
locked the rears. He had the heater lights on, but he's locked the rears into turn 1, so it's going to be the end of that one.
Alex Cattle comes up to the first sector here.
Keep an eye on Cattle now. He's we'll be find him.
Good job, 21-2 to the
21-2
first sector.
to the first sector.
He's only 3 thousandths up on RSM Latino, so pretty close between them two as Alex gets it right out sideways through turn 6 there.
The greatest middle sector.
2 tenths down on his best, but he is 2 tenths up on RSM Latino, so see how these laps fare out.
Someone lighting up the timing screens at the minute, but I'm not aware of who it is because I don't have that information. I've just got the timing screens being lit up.
Yeah, Alex Cattle.
It is Alex Cattle, okay.
Yeah, double purple sector.
Latino 12-3, that's not going to be good enough for anything expected from Alex Cattle 11-6. So it's definitely slower at the start of these
12-4.
sessions. Burko's
Yeah,
straight in
The car. Oh, that first sector by Benjamin. That is a
Benjamin's
very
done a,
first
yeah,
sector.
he's done a 21.
21-1.
1-2-4, so it's a low one.
Cattle's up on
he's
his
slow.
marker again, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on Cattle here at the minute. Keep an eye on the timing screens of the others. The front 5 all within basically 2 tenths of one another in the first sector. Alex Cattle is up 3.5 tenths now in his middle sector. And that is
Shame for Lime Mitch. He went purple to the. Oh well, Alex Cattle, yeah, has now eclipsed that, but Lime Mitch was purple in the middle sector and had a crash. So it's all about putting the lap together.
It is, and Lime Mitch is up in P2 in this session, but obviously won't be improving on this lap.
Benjamin Diallo to the top.
It's at the top, but he's just been eclipsed by Alex Cattle immediately, so
11-2. So track could be rubbering up now.
and these drivers will start to set faster times.
Steve Warwick up the 6th and the 12-6.
So we haven't seen a respective lap time from Hans Brunswick or a number of the runners here yet, so
It's a bit strange for my old man. He's done an 11-8 here, so the wheel's still playing up a bit on him. Have to
on Cattle, big
10
moment.
to, oh, that is a
Line
huge
Mitch.
moment.
Is that Line Mitch or Burko? They're going to confuse me now, they're in the same car. So, I'm going to keep an eye on P3 Line Mitch. He hasn't improved as he was on a lap there.
Yeah, on that lap, he went 16.5.02 to the middle second.
He did. Hans Brunswick now up into P2, so he's put a respective lap time in, and Dahlia's
Yeah.
across the line. He's starting a lap now, so we're going to keep an eye on him.
Hans went purple in that last sector, so
He did, so we've got three
All of
different
that.
people that are purple across the three different sectors. We've got Cattle as the first sector, Line Mitch to the second, and Hans Brunswick to the third sector, so... Well,
It's just up. Hans is on a good lap here.
Dahlia's matched the best first sector so far, but he's not up on his PB, which was the purple sector. That was it.
yeah, 10th down. Yeah.
Sorry, it was, yeah, so it's Benjamin that's purple in the first sector. So our fastest driver at the moment in this session doesn't actually have a purple sector to his name, which is a bit strange.
It is strange, but as we say, you got to put it all together.
Back up to 9th.
Back in the P9. It's good performance from him.
Kind of like a push bike, you can't go riding without the front wheel, so got to put it all together.
This is lap time there also from Dane Ricardo, the 12.4.
So he's up into P6 now. And Benjamin Dahlia goes to P1 and an 11.1, so
Yeah,
he went
great
purple the
lap
last
time.
sector. He's just been eclipsed. Sorry, that was purple the last sector because Hans Brunswick's just gone to P2. And Hans Brunswick was on pole for a split second until the lap time was eclipsed by Benjamin Dahlia, and he's going to now have traffic here from the flame bite, so this is going to affect this next run of his.
You can throw that lap in the bin.
You can, and Hans Brunswick's not on a heater either. What's Alex Cattle got? Alex Cattle has nothing for us because he's on an outlap. Steve Burko, though, is up on his PB and he's only just down on the first sector. So we'll keep an eye on Burko. He's in P4. He obviously wasn't in this last race, so he's a bit of a wild card now. And he's massively up on two wheels. He stayed in it, but he's miles down his lap. He's going to walk the lap. Flick back and have a look at Line Mitch. There are 6 cars that could take pole position, I feel, out there at the minute.
Oh, definitely.
And Line Mitch is up on his PB, and he's also nearly up on the best sector.
I don't think we've seen the best times from Line Mitch or RSM Latino yet, so I feel it will get tighter.
And Line Mitch is actually up on the best first sector by a 10, so we're watching him and he's actually up completely, and there's someone's joined the server. That was a bit of a distraction for everybody. We lost coming back from his technical drama.
This
Hopefully
lap
that
is
hasn't
looking
affected.
really good here from Line Mitch.
It is, this is looking like he's going to go to P1. Has not gone
Still
to
again. Hasn't gone purple, yeah.
Missed the apex of the last corner, had a car spot in front of him.
Still has, he's gone up to P3 and he's only 69 hundredths off, or 69 thousandths off pole position, so it's very close here for pole. Alex Cattle's only, we've got the front 3 all within a 10th. Front 4 rather within a 10th, or just over a 10th. This is insanely close. Literally either of these drivers could take pole position here, and I don't know who to look at.
Well, Line Mitch has just gone purple in the first sector.
He's done a
21.0.
20.1. So we're going to keep an eye on Cattle as he crosses the line. See what he is able to do. He has not improved. Burko's now back in pit lane. RSM Latino is up to the first sector as well. He's down in 6th.
Wow, this is a big lap here from Line Mitch.
Going to focus on Line Mitch because he is...
Yeah, 16.6 to the middle. That's up there with the best.
Oh, he's wide. He's
Dropping
gonna
in
get
the
away
last
with
sector
it.
has Mitch.
Oh, he's
He's
got
turned it
around
in.
the last corner. This should
This'll
be
be
pole
it.
position.
This will be a big lap. Yeah, look at that.
He's gone to P2. He's
no.
missed out by 6 thousandths of a second.
Oh, .006.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, yeah. I'm gonna to see what Harrison Latino knocks up, because he was on a good number as well. Probably not going to challenge for pole, but could potentially put himself further up the order. And he's no improvement, so he's made a meal of that last sector.
Unbelievable scenes here at Townsville.
Those Cuddles coming in the lane.
Oh, the Kino's been held up.
Having
By two
a big
Oxford
moment.
cars at turn 1.
Line Mitch coming out of the pits again. Dahlia still has pole position here. So I picked him for pole. I'm expecting pole number to be in the 10s, but at the minute he's 11-1 is good enough.
It's still 5 minutes to go here in the session.
The reason we'll see if any of these drivers can improve. All small margins, and they all really haven't put the lap together, you'd say.
You know who's really improved tonight? I reckon is Reid. He's up there in 13th, doing really well.
Yeah, Roddy's putting in a pretty good performance. It's sort of under the radar with everything that's going on. It's been hard to keep an eye on everyone. Normally we're pretty covered with everyone seeing what's going on, but Benjamin's cut that him too much curb and nearly rolled it, so that'll be out for him. Normally we keep a pretty good eye on what happens up and down the field, but it's hard. There's just so much happening up the front, and a lot of good battles and good performances have gone under the radar. Hans Brunswick, that's cutting that corner a lot.
Yeah, we'll see if he got a cut track on that. No, he didn't
get a cut track, but it's self-punished him now because he's been unsettled by the curve.
Well, he's about
there is a big
3 or 4 tenths.
Is there a big?
Yeah, second last corner. 2 Hogsworth cars again.
Well, there's been a common theme these past 2 events. Those cars.
They really need to get their act together, I think.
Not going to see too much more. Lachlan Burke's been able to join us, and he's going to have a go at setting a lap. So we got Dahlia's coming out with his final run. My Mitch is on the lap, but I don't know how competitive it is. It's not a respective number. Hans Brunswick's coming to the pit lane. Alex Cuddle will be starting his final run. Steve Burko is on a run as well.
I think Stenberg's up on his time by half a second.
This has been one of the best sessions I've ever watched in sim racing, to be honest.
It is actually insane. So Dahlia has gone up on his first sector. Burko is up on his first sector, nearly up on the fastest time so far.
I'm seeing a lot of green boxes in the live timing, so
yeah, there are a lot of.
it's not done yet.
The session's completely on. So I'm going to watch Ben, because he's the person that's... Oh, he's locked the rears.
Oh,
So that's been thrown away. He was
it was roughly about a tenth up. That was on for 11.0.
So we've got Alex Cattle. He's on fire on the live timing screen as well, so...
Burko's to the fence. At the last corner.
And these front six, have got a 7/10 gap on the rest of the field. It's really are the 4 runners in this field. And Alex Cattle has improved his time, but not enough. But he's within a 10th. It's front 4 are now within a 10th.
That is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So who's on a lap? Harrison Latino is in P6. He's up on the best time so far in the first sector.
Sid Goose has rolled and Mad Rabbit spun directly behind him.
All I can say to that is the word talent.
Pretty good lap here from Peter Stenberg as he comes up to the last corner. It's been pretty quiet.
This is unbelievable. Like, we're talking hundreds and thousands. I'm not talking about the stuff you put on your fairy bread.
Oh, I was hoping that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some fairy bread right now, to be honest.
Yes, so would
Get a
I'd
request.
go for some. Classic Australian delicacy. And I don't care how old you are, it's great. So
On my dying deathbed, I want fairy bread. Just putting it out there, fairy bread.
So Latino has improved his time, but he's still 4/10 off these leading runners. He's jumped Steve Burko, however. There's been
By
movement,
500.
has been
Oh
movement
my
in the order,
goodness.
but Brunswick's around.
Alex Cattle, P2, by 4 thousandths, and then the gap to next is 3 thousandths.
Unbelievable.
How has he put his car in that gap? The gap between the front three is literally 6 thousandths of a second. It is
That's
6
an
thousandths of a
eyelash.
second separating pole and third.
That's literally an eyelash.
And Alex Cattle's still on a lap, but I'm feeling like Dahlia could have pole here.
Good first sector here from Steve Burko.
Cattle is up on his time, but he's not up on his personal best, but he's up on the best time so far.
Unlucky.
Good job by Steve Warwick to stay out of the road there.
So Alex Cattle's still a chance to grab pole position here, but it's going to be tight. He's going to need a big last sector.
Well, that's really deep.
He's off the road.
Shame.
So that's a shame that's over. So I think that's all of our main runners gone. Burko's not on our lap anymore. So
That's done. That session done for those guys.
session done, and Benjamin Dahlia has walked away with a pole position after all that, after that session. His margin is literally 3 thousandths of a second over Alex Cattle, and it's another 3 thousandths back to Lion Mitch.
What a crazy
Hans
session.
Brunswick is only half a tenth off pole in fourth, with RSM Latino half a second away in fifth. Only a minuscule amount of time. That's a half a tenth back to Steve Burko in sixth, and then we drop 8 tenths to go to seventh for Steve Warwick, who managed to jump up there at the last minute, with Dane Liccardo 8th, Liam Budd in 9th, Brapp in 10th. Lachlan Burt gets 11th with a late start to qualifying, with Michael Pollard 12th, Matt Cecil in 13th, Lachlan Horan 14th, Cameron Parrott 15th, Rhodey 16th, Sid Goose 17th, Stenny 18th, Mad Rabbit 19th, Acclaim by 20th, Dodger 21st, Steve Guy at 22nd, and that is our field. So, surprising, Dahlia managed to put the number on the board. He was a
You picked it, mate?
I did pick it. I was surprised in my pick because I just went for a wild card choice, to be honest. It didn't really pick that to pick it. So yeah, it's worked out well for me, but it's worked out well for Benjamin as well. He's got the front row, and his championship rival is only half a
P5.
second away from him, but he's in P5.
Super close here. It's
That
gonna be
is
an
one of the
awesome
best
race.
sessions I've seen. No one could put their lap together, and as we saw, 10-8 was pole in the last session, and you only needed to replicate that, and you would have had pole, and no one could do it. No one could put the lap together. So, and the only person who managed to put the lap together, it seems, is Benjamin. He's done his personal best there, and one of his personal best times, and that's pole.
I think it was too. He did that quite early on. I think there was still like 11 minutes remaining or something when he did that lap. So to even hold on for that long is very impressive.
Yeah, when
So
he
the
did
track
time,
must
I
have
remarked
been
that,
as fast.
when he did the time, I remarked that I didn't think that would be pole. I thought that there would be. I thought that other people would improve and even himself would improve, but he hung on there. So good on him. It's good to see him get another pole position, especially on a competitive night like this. He's really got a lot of added pressure and competition, and he's risen to the challenge. And he said, "Boys, I'm the Super 2, winner and pole sitter here for the last few rounds. Come and get me." Just seen something that's funny. While this walnut session is on, I'll be taking a short break, but I'll leave my co-commentators with you to talk about your thoughts for the race.
It's a big race here, Cole. The championship, especially for RSM Latino or Benjamin Dahlia. They really need to finish up the front here. Can't afford any mistakes like last race.
Well, that's it too, mate. And not only that, RSM Latino with that incident with Steve Warwick, that's probably going to hamper him as well. And then the incident at the end where some quite poor driving from one of the Hogsbreath cars. Got in his road. That's cost him a couple of places. So he's gonna need a big go here, and hopeful that Ben stuffs it up somehow. But I really can't see that happening.
Yeah, he really needs to make the most of the situation and finish in front of him. But it's going to be really close at the front. Alex Cattle, Lime, Mitch, Hands, Latino, Burko, Bialia. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. A few cars out in the track.
Yeah, doing some practice starts. And where they're doing it is probably not the safest place to be doing it, but
It's getting the job done.
it's getting the job done.
Cars probably testing on old tyres, doing some pit lane entries if they crash. Just a few little things like that. Checking everything's working properly, making some last minute setup changes.
The one thing I'm hoping for is that there's no safety car, because I'd love to see how these guys go on older tyres as the race goes on. Because as we saw with Hans and a few other guys, they were getting real taily at the end.
Yeah, I'd agree. I reckon that would play into the hands of RSM Latino.
Yeah,
Really good at
exactly
conserving tyres. As we saw, a lot of those guys at the front really struggling on their rear tyres, pushing too hard too early. But they did have that slight pace advantage. Even though their tyres were gone, they were still faster. As Hands has actually crashed. I hope you can get that out before the race starts. Looks like it has no damage on it, so he'll be fine.
Get some of those magical fairies onto it.
Yeah, I'll just boot the tyres, boot the panels, and they're as good as gold.
Gotta love a magical fairy giving a bit of a boot.
Bit of a Tinkerbell. Anyways,
Not long now before we go through the grid. Yep, red light. No one allowed back out on track.
As our cameraman is currently not at his PC, but we can see that there's Matt Cecil on track doing some practice starts, as that's where his real strong point is. Really good at his starts, it's where he makes the most of it.
Well, he's qualified 14th, so if he can get a good start, he might be able to jump a few guys. I think he's qualified 14th anyway, it might be a little bit higher. So
I think it was 13th, I believe. Cole?
oh, well, there you go.
And I'm back. I'm back in the booth, boys.
He's back.
Welcome back, mate.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. I've got a Kit Kat.
Oh, well, he went for a break.
Yeah. And I have a adult beverage, as Mark Scaife would call it. Because
adult
you're going to need
beverage.
an adult beverage to watch this next one, because this is going to be very exciting, I feel.
Well, obviously the drivers can't have one, but us commentators can.
I would disagree, as I'm aware some of the drivers in this field are having adult beverages.
Oh. We won't name those drivers, as that is illegal.
Some of them may be, some of them may have the sponsorship on their cars.
Well, way to advertise. I think we'll leave the honours of Thomas to go through the grid for this race. Once they get the formation lap underway.
I think we will.
Formation on the way. Hopefully go pretty good. Alright, well on pole here is Benjamin Dialia. In second is Alex Cattle, the Nissan. In third is Lime Mitch in the AEG Power Tools Nissan. Followed by Hans Brunswick. Here's RSM Latino, that beautiful black and yellow car. And another AEG Power Tools car of Stenberg in sixth. With your old man Kyle, P7. Good job right here, Dave Ricardo. Great job, big mate racing car. Play your bud 9, Crap in 10. Michael Burke in 11. Colin qualified higher in the last race. Michael Pollard in 12. Matt Cecil in 13. And Reid, Jack Smith car in 14. Parrot on the shoulder, and Lodi at 16. Sid Goose, the Rudel goes from the last race at 17. Steady, my driver here, hopefully he does well. Claim Pride in the pits, not really winning the first. Steve Guyat, so hopefully he gets it out from this race at 22nd. And that's, yeah, him rounding out the grid.
Plenty of
So that
bird species in this field.
Yeah, there's
Apparently.
good ones in the crowd, and there's also someone in the shoulder, so
they've got a parrot.
Thank you for that one. Yeah, parrot and
And we've got a rooster. We've had a rooster in the com box.
And don't forget, we've got a Rosella in the main series, so...
We do have a Rosella in the main series.
we do have Rose.
As Thomas McMillan kindly pointed out, a Rosella is a species of bird, and he pointed that one out
It's a bird that I hit.
in the middle of a race that we didn't need to know about.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that in your front air dam.
No, you wouldn't.
We're lining up here.
We're on the grid.
It's alright, we also had some Cape Barren Goose at Phillip Island as well, so that's another one.
Those things are pests everywhere on that island.
They sure are. We're getting ready to go here.
Yeah, somebody hasn't hidden in their grid box, it seems.
The claim bind. It's going to be Alex Cattle versus Benjamin. We're on into T1, or T2 I should call it. It's going to be exciting.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
And a strike group was taken immediately. But look at the start from Hans Brunswick. Oh, there's a huge crash off the start line. Absolutely monumental. This is going to be a safety car.
Oh, Matt Cecil.
Goodness!
This is the biggest crash I've seen.
The track is jammed.
The track is jammed. Oh, what do you even say about that? We're going to go through and we're going to get a replay of that immediately. So, for what we've seen is it's a good start from Hans Brunswick. I was trying to get on to trying to find Hans Brunswick here. Where has he ended up in this? All this? My God, is it? Sorry, I'm looking for the
There's going to be
correct camera.
several cars out of the race.
Hans Brunswick here. He's made contact with Alex Cattle. He's made
It
contact.
looks like Alex, he got wheel spin and it sort of just turned in front of Hans and then there was nowhere he could go.
And here further back, we've got Dane Liccardo, who's made a good start, but he's shunted straight into the front of Alex Cattle, who's then made contact with. We need to get a better camera of this. It's a really poor part of the track because we don't have a good camera on it. So
That's good.
we've then got this. We've got guys on the brakes here, but unfortunately, they just end up spinning back across the road.
A lot of cars not on the brakes also.
There are lots of cars not on the brakes trying to capitalise for position. We've had that's Rodi who's made contact with Michael Pollard. And this is where the second phase of this accident sort of begins. We've got Lachlan Horan, Matt Cecil,
Oh, Matt
Steady.
Cecil.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna switch cameras here.
Terrible scenes here at Townsville.
It is terrible scenes here at Townsville. It's hard to get a decent camera angle of this because it's the accident has fallen between the cameras. So if we can get an onboard of from Mad Rabbit.
So, a bunch of seagulls going for the chips, and Alex
doesn't
Cattle
his
is
thing.
the chip.
Oh my
Look at
goodness.
Stenny, that car's completely airborne. The track is blocked at this point. Matt Cecil's on his roof.
Look, if this was real racing, I'd be concerned, but I'm glad this is sim racing and we can laugh about it because
Yeah, hope there's no one in that bridge when Steady hit it as well.
that's the biggest accident I've seen in sim racing.
That's the biggest accident I've seen in sim racing, and it happened 50 metres from the start of the race.
I think that had to be the biggest accident that's happened in ASC Main and Super 2.
That was
Oh,
huge. That's bigger than the
100%.
safety car. That's almost a full field crash. And I will agree, there were guys that should have been on the brakes there. I'm going to continue to get replays of this because this safety car is going to be out for a while. I'm going to go on board with Dane Liccardo here. He's going to have a front row of this. Steve Warwick rather, I'm on board with.
We would hate to have the direct
He's sort of punched his way through that accident. We'll have a look on board with who's a good person to go on board with? I reckon Stenny's a good person to go on board with. So we'll see how it unfolds through here. Oh, he's broken the last minute.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
To be fair to him, there are cars around here, but at this point, he's not braking it, clearly. And neither are other cars here, but at this point, you probably should be on the brakes at this point here. We've seen these two cars have a crash here. It's very hard to spot in front to see that there's cars around, but you'll be on the brake. He's on the brakes here. He's seen the accident, but at this point, it's all over. It's too little, too late.
At that point, he would have just seen those two cars and be like, oh yeah, two cars is fine, I should be okay. Until he's arrived at the scene and seen about 10 others.
It's hard when you're there at the back. You're unsighted. You can't really see what's going on. So those guys at the back of the grid, you can't really say too much about them not braking, but there's guys definitely towards the mid-pack of the field that probably should have been a bit more aware of what's going on in that crash. So, and then the aftermath, when we see all the cars try and recover, I'm going to now go back to live pictures. We still are under the safety car. So Benjamin Dahlia leads. He was one of the few that wasn't involved in that, and Hans is somehow in P2.
Unbelievable.
Brack was up into P3 after all that, so he missed that crash as well. Steve Burko, who was involved, is in... No, he wasn't involved, he managed to miss it as well. It was Lime Mitch that was involved. Steve Warwick in 5th, we saw he missed that crash from the onboard shot. Lars and 6th. Sid Goose is up to 7th with Mad Rabbit in 8th. Both those guys were involved, but sort of punched their way through it. Lime Mitch has dropped down to 9th. Lachlan Haran is in 10th. Cameron Parrott is in 11th. Alex Cattle is in 12th. Michael Pollard is in 13th position. Matt Cecil in 14th. Brody in 15th. Steve Guy in 16th. Liam Budd in 17th. Lachlan Burke in 18th. Stenny is in 19th. Dodger in 20th. And the Playbite is out there and he's a lap down because he started the race late. He's caught in this mess. Dane Liccardo is 22nd, so he's also a lap down. So he must have hit it for damages of some description.
Yeah, it's
That was
very
disappointing,
similar to
but-
Gold Coast 2012 though, Kurt.
Was similar to Gold Coast 2012. As I say, it looks worse than what it seems. Like, you can say a lot of things about the guys that have just ploughed in there, but as we saw, it's very hard. You're unsighted there when you've got all those cars in front of you and you're further back, and the car sort of spun, and it is difficult. It's a difficult one. It's a high-speed part of the track. Guys could have taken more caution, but it's sim racing. People don't take caution. As a person who was personally involved in the biggest ever accident of V8 Scops at Mosport, which took out pretty much 35 cars in the field, and I was the last car that arrived, it was the third last car that arrived on that scene, and I was unsighted to that accident. I knew there was an accident, I'd been told. Still couldn't see there was an accident until I arrived at the scene and still got involved in it. So it is hard, especially when you're trying to make up positions on the opening lap, but at the same time, the whole contact that started it was a bit unnecessary with, but at the same time, Hans is going for the gap, he's got the start. We've got Cattle who's wheel spin and he's moved over and squeezed the gap, and it's just created a hydrogen bomb out there, to be honest.
Well, we're about to go green.
We are about to go green.
Car in the lane.
For all that.
Hopefully we're clean from here.
You can only hope.
Hopefully we do get the green flag.
That's the green flag.
We're
Go,
underway
go,
with
go.
green.
Even start from the front two. Hans is going to have the draft into turn 1. Oh, Benjamin defends.
Benjamin has defended pretty good, isn't it? Bit of an incident in the background. Rap trying to run with these guys.
This would be good for Brap.
Will be. He's
The cars in front.
last year at Townsville he ran up the top 3 in this series. It's one of the tracks. It's the track where I saw him first come to sort of a bit of fruition and a bit of form and move from the back up to the front. So maybe with being up in these guys, he can run with them, copy their lines a bit, and see if he can get a good result out of this.
Looks like Spen's feeling the pressure from Hans here.
Yes, well, Hans seemed to be faster in the last race, and Hans was very aggressive in the last race, but also was
Sort of need to be patient here. There's still a long way to go.
there's a long way to go, and Raps managed to stay with them quite well, so I'm actually pretty impressed by that, and Hans Brunswick's done the fastest lap on the restart. We've got Steve Warwick who's all over Latino in the background. Ryan Mitch has moved himself up into 7th from 9. Hans Brunswick's now got an overlap.
Oh, he's got to keep it there.
Down the inside.
Oh, squeezed him to the apex.
Has
He's
squeezed
got
him
it
and he's got
done.
the move done, and Brap's now under pressure in the background here from Steve Burko, who's putting himself up to P3, and Latino wants a piece of this. He's going to try and run with Burko.
Oh, Burko's the nearest.
Oh,
That's great.
And the safety car is
looks
back
like we've got a
out.
safety car.
There's been a big crash in the background again.
Oh, Liam Budd, guess backwards.
Oh,
Wow, that's a big crash.
that's another big crash.
Oh,
Another one where the track has been jammed. Oh,
Oh.
Peter Stenberg.
Look, the Burke has levitated.
So we're gonna go back and watch that again. So this is very disappointing from these guys. I expected the racing to be a bit cleaner tonight, but big field in this thing and heads are prevailing, it seems. I'm gonna see if I can get an onboard here with Pollard. So it was the incident was caused
the
by
aliens have picked him up.
what
The
happened here?
aliens
That
have
was
picked up the Lachlan Burke car.
who's in that Nissan that's lost it? That was Alex Cattle, was it?
Alex Cattle.
So Alex Cattle's lost it. He's been collected by Pollard, and that's just created this huge chain reaction once again. And
The aliens have got him.
It's a magical
blood
fairies, we're
involved.
back.
I'm gonna look at Peter Stenberg's on board here.
Hey, look,
'cause, I don't think he
These
did
guys in the background here, a bit silly as well. They should be on the brakes.
Yeah, like here, definitely. You can see there's been an accident. You can see there's a car rolling back over the track. You hear the acceleration still in the car. Like the track is actually completely jammed at this point. Matt's on the brakes. He's on the brakes now, but it's too late. And that's just
Bang.
bang. And then these other guys are just all into it again. So the safety car's busy tonight. And if Tom, if you'd have been out in the medical car, I'd say you would have been pretty busy tonight as well.
Oh, I reckon I would have been hit by another car, to be honest.
It's been one of those nights, so we're going to go back to the live pictures. We're going to try and evaluate how the field is. So that's been timely. That safety car's been pretty timely for Hans Brunswick, who's now taken the lead. But he's got Dahlia second. Burko's moved up to third. Perhaps in fourth, so he'll be loving this. Running up the front here. Tino fifth. Warwick sixth. I mentioned seventh. He's got a bit of recovery. Sixth goes to eighth. Alex Cuttle is up in ninth. Even after that shot, somehow he's in ninth. With Mad Rabbit in 10th. Lachlan Moran in 11th. Oxford 12th. Brody 13th. Matt 14th. Steady 15th. Dodger 16th. Power up 17th. Lachlan 18th. Steve Guy 19th. Liam Budd 20th. Nathan Kelly 20th. Liam Budd 22nd. And that's the field. So we still haven't had a retiree, even after both these big crashes, we still have not had a car retire from this race, which is actually amazing.
As we say, safety cars produce safety cars. And with our luck, there will be another one. So hopefully everyone keeps it clean.
I hope not, because I really want to see some good racing.
So do I.
I want to
I
see
know the
some good
guys at the
racing.
front are closed. So there's going to be some close battles, I think.
I mean,
Well, it
we've
is
sort of been,
disappointing. because
Sort of been let
we
down
had
after qualifying. We had 6
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
that were all like within a small amount of time, and we sort of been let down
Exactly.
and not being able to see the battle unfold in the race. Because these incidents and
exactly
these
what I was
safety
about
cars.
to say. Was that we had probably the best qualifying session for this series, and then probably the worst racing we've had, followed by that. So
Yeah, best turnout,
yeah,
some of
so
the
these
closest
guys
field, and guys are just.
need to calm down.
Yeah, I mean, both the incidents have been sort of unfortunate accidents, but at the same time, I feel like the aggression levels turned up too high. Well, last round we had one of the cleanest rounds that we've seen, but before that, and same with Darwin was one of the cleanest rounds we've seen. The last 2 rounds have been pretty clean, but before that we had some not very great driving, and it's come back again. A few cooler heads need to prevail. I don't really know what else to say. It's disappointing.
As they say, more cleaner races builds up to a bigger crash. So, I reckon that's today.
Yep, we're going to continue under safety car for this lap. So this race is going to be half under yellow. Who is you picked for a win at this point, Buck?
The
It's
safety
got to be
car.
hands. It's got to be hands.
Well, safety car's got to be winning with a serious chance, assuming the safety car has
He
led
is,
most of the
yeah.
race. But as I've just had in the, I've had you said to me. But I don't know. I feel like Benjamin's still got a bit of fight back here. He's not out of this. We saw Hans got a bit loose in the last race. I feel like there's every chance that could happen again if he's under pressure from Benjamin. We've heard that Hans struggles a bit under pressure. Will he be able to withstand the pressure and take his maiden race win in this series?
He's got to keep the tyres on his car on that last race, so see how he goes.
Hopefully they go green slap.
Pretty sure the safety car is going to win the race at this point. Like I tell
Yeah,
you, the safety
Safety
car.
car driver.
I can actually tell you the safety car would be legitimately ahead of 2 competitors in this race. Because the safety car has pretty much been on the track every single lap. Bar one.
Technically a lap down.
If the safety car is the
You're
lap
hearing
down.
Mark Skate behind the wheel of that safety car. We don't have him tuned in here, so we can't talk to him, but he'd be having a good time in that safety
Well,
car.
hopefully he's right outside waiting in the pit on the limit of adhesion.
Oh, and skating will be.
But as we're going to get a restart here, but as Morris would say, I feel like some of these drivers really need to plug their brain back in and
I would
for the last
echo that comment.
last
Yeah, you gotta
7
get it
laps
on
of
the
this
track,
race. So
man.
Hans is gone. He's going to go early. It looks like. No, he's on the brakes now. He's realised that he can't go early.
Oh, he's gonna check up the field.
That's the green flag.
Got a
Go, go,
restart,
go.
and we've actually got a car round already. That was a mad rabbit, I feel like, that went around there off the start. So anyway, we're back up the front. We're missing it, and we've got Dahlia making an aggressive move already at the start, and that's now put him under pressure from. Why is my camera's? I'm in the wrong spot. Pressing the wrong button. Anyway, sorry. Dahlia has. He's under pressure from. Burko with a big dive. That was cheeky as, and that's put there's now been a crash on that round and line mixtures around. So hopefully he stays out of trouble with the rest of this field. Man, oh man, there's been some racing tonight. That's for sure.
Right now.
Brap's now having a dive at Burko. We'll see. I feel like Brap, even though most of this race has been on the safety car, Brap is the impressive performer of this race for sure. He's up in P4, and he's holding his own out there. It's not for lack of pace. I'm going to watch further back in the field here because it's all going on further back. We've got Lachlan Grant.
Oh.
An incident here.
2 cars around.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah. We've got
Another safety car.
safety car has not been called yet. I'm hoping it doesn't get called. But this is another incident, and there's another car round. It's messy driving from these guys. It's going to be a lot to review. And no, we've not had a safety car. We've got 3 wide here, but between Matt Cecil, Lachlan Haran, and Rhodey. And we've got Liam Budd who's trying to get involved in this as well. Haran's backed out of it. He's realised what the go is. This is brings
Claim
Steady
Bite
into
in
this.
the background.
And there's a fight in the background here from Mad Rabbit, the Claim Bite, and Lime Mitch. Missy Opera, and then that's Dane Liccardo on the break. And then we've got another incident here. Cars everywhere, honestly. This is a messy race. Dane Liccardo up the inside of Steady. He tried, but he failed. Oh, and Lachlan Haran's off. That's like a suspension failure. Reminded me of Anton.
Anton Di Pasquale.
He feel like he's got a puncher, does Lachlan. He's crawling around there, so... Yeah, I've just seen him hit the wall again. He's got a puncher, Lachlan. And we've got racing on here again.
Ruff goes up to the inside of Alex Cattle. He hasn't got the run there.
We've had the two leaders exchange the fastest laps. This is on, and Lime Mitch is going to be trying to get his way back through the field after that incident. Sid Goose is now racing Matt Cecil, and Cameron Parrott is also racing up here.
Jim Dialia has scored 2 tenths on the hands Brunswick this lap. His tyres must be wearing that ball down here.
The battling in this midfield is intense, I must say. And that's Lime Mitch is up another spot. We've got Sid Goose now side by side with Matt Cecil, and Matt's... Oh, he's not giving Matt much room there, and Matt's gone wide, and that's Alex Cattle, and this has brought Steady up into this fight. Now Steady's going to get past the boat. Dane Liccardo now. Now Lime Mitch has capitalised. Lime Mitch is into... To Alex Cattle, and that's a lucky spin to miss everyone there. And Alex Cattle's, that is Cameron Parrott, sorry, is around, he's in the fence.
And Carter versus Peter Stenberg, here we go.
Yeah, it's Dane Liccardo versus Peter Stenberg, and Dane Liccardo is going to get that spot. Yeah, look, DSO, I mean, the two commentators here are the DSOs, and the DSOs aren't impressed.
We certainly are.
But when you're watching it live, all you can do is laugh, to be honest. But it's exciting. You can't say it's not exciting.
It's definitely exciting.
For the wrong reasons, I feel.
It'd be good for the highlight reel.
It would be. If we had one, but I had to stop making them because they ended up being the whole race. That's the problem. So it's finally calmed down at the back of the field, so we can move further back up and have a look at what's going on. Brap's now down into 6th, so Alex Cattle has moved his way up. He's actually back up into 5th, which is incredible after the incident that he had earlier on.
It was a spectacular incident. Just like every incident tonight.
Here we go, battle between Alex Cattle and Morrison Latino.
That's what we're tuned into. Can I just make a point, Colin? As admins, due to the recent spate of safety cars, we had a discussion before this event of turning the safety car off for this race.
I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't as well, because we've had monumental crashes that have...
Deserved the safety car.
Yep, and we've actually got the safety car out on the track again. And this race is now going to finish under safety car, I think.
Okay, that is off the road.
What the hell has happened here? So this car's off.
Two holes per car.
Oh, it's the claim bite's gone around on the racing
found it.
line. I don't know, there's cars off everywhere, so I really don't know who's caused this. But
Maybe a claim by agency.
Yeah, being where he is, I say that's definitely.
I'd say that's a claim bite there. So that is a single car crash that has brought out safety car. It's pretty disappointing. Hopefully we can get a resumption to this race, but I doubt it. Honestly, I feel like I doubt it at this point. So this has been one of the most anticlimax races I've ever watched, but it's been exciting for when it's been racing.
I believe the last time we had a safety car go happen at the end of the race was a green and white checker.
That has now been removed from the mod, Thomas.
It has? Okay.
That's no longer a thing that can happen in this series. Unless AMS pulls another surprise on us, but I believe that is no longer a thing that can occur.
surprises aplenty tonight.
There definitely are. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I am hoping that we don't see that happen because that's going to screw some people over. But I would like to see a resumption of racing.
Yeah, I'd like to see them racing with brains more than so without. So.
Yeah, well, the brains are unplugged.
Yeah, someone stuck a fork into the power board.
MTV brains unplugged in New York at Reid Park Circuit. So I am I mean, I'm still gonna hope that we can see a safety car go in this lap, but I'm holding my doubts. I feel like we can't just have a one lap caution. I feel like this race is just gonna finish under the safety car, and that is gonna hand Hans Brunswick his first ever win in this series.
Steve Guyat has got a...
There are less crashes in Kiwi Superstocks according to Beachy, and I'd agree at this point. Less airtime as well, less Microsoft Flight Sim, less probably more use of the brakes as well when there's a crash on in Kiwi Superstocks.
More use of brakes, more use of brain.
Do you have your brain plugged in, Kurt and Cole?
I've had to unplug it to be able to comprehend what I'm saying.
Mine's unplugged at the moment.
So there's the
Mine's never been
confirmation.
plugged in, so...
The safety car is going to finish this race, going to lead us to the line, and this race is going to end in unfortunate circumstances. So we might as well go through the field now. It's Hans Brunswick who's won this race from Benjamin Dahlia. Burko in third, Latino in fourth. Alex Cattle has got back to fifth somehow. That's been a good recovery from him, considering we haven't had many green laps. Brett in sixth, Lachlan Burke in seventh, Michael Pollard in eighth, Liam Budd in ninth, Brody in 10th, Sid Goose in 11th, Matt Cecil is 12th and is having an issue of some degree, I think. Steve Warwick in 13th, disappointing race for him. Ryan Mitch in 14th, Dodger in 15th, Mad Rabbit, Stenny in 15th rather, Dodger in 16th, Mad Rabbit in 17th, Dave Ricardo in 18th, which seems to be out of order in the safety car queue, unless the timing screen is messing up. Lachlan Moran in 19th, Cameron Farrow
I believe
in
it
20th.
because there's a lap down.
Yeah, and Steve Guy. So he was a lap down and battling Stenny and those guys? Okay. Claim by is 20 seconds. That's... Sorry, I was trying to work out what the fuck was going on. And I've said that word, but honestly, I can only even describe what I've seen here with 4-letter words. Like, it's one that starts with F and one that starts with S, and that's what I think of what I've seen.
And you can add a in between those two words.
You can add a Safety car is actually coming in this lap, but it's going to be to no avail, so we are going to finish under green, but it's going to be the short-lived green flag in the history of the Automobilista Supercar Championship.
This is interesting.
Green flag.
And there's been a crash after the finish
my
line because
God.
everyone's assumed that they've gone green, but the race is over. This is the end of the race. The race has gone. The race ended with Hans Brunswick winning from Benjamin Dahlia, Burko, Latino, Brat.
Oh my god!
Brat made up a spot on Alex.
Roger.
Brat made up a spot on Alex Catherine here. I'm gonna get a replay of this. Rather, sorry guys.
He hasn't, has he?
He has made up a spot on Alex Cattle. He was behind him. He has actually jumped him before the line. So that is...
So that's a penalty.
There's a penalty. He's passed before the start-finish sign. So... That's Alex Cattle in 6th. Lachlan Burt 7th. Bud, Brody, Warwick. And Sid Goose is going to drop way down the order because he had a chance. You see more stuff going on in the background, more cars overtaking and whatnot. So... Yeah, but that's the end of that race. What a race. What can really be fucking said about that? And I've said it again. I don't even care. At this point, I don't even care what can be said about that. The stuff after the
What
race
hasn't
is
been
about as
said.
good as what happened in the race, to be honest. There's a number of these drivers that need to really pull their heads in and work out that we're actually here trying to have fun and do pretend motor racing, not here doing pretend demo derby. If you want to do that, you've got Wreckfest you can install and you can do it on there.
Yeah, it was chaos, wasn't it?
As Mr. D. Beachier says, well done safety car in first place. I heard someone have some money on the safety car to win.
You'd hope so. You'd get a payout, I reckon.
So it's really overshadowed the result for Hans Brunswick, who has won the race deservingly in whatever circumstances it was.
Those burnouts, I love a good burnout.
So we are getting some drivers who are coming in to join us. Oh, and
Oh, he just tipped him in.
so I'm going to drag Hans in, our race winner from that last race. I'm going to have a chat with him. Hans, mate, you've come away with the win there in whatever that was as a race. Spent a lot of time under yellow, but after your result in the first one, I guess you'll be pretty happy to manage to have got the win there.
Yeah, thanks, Kurt. It's good to get a win, especially crashing out after the last two races in a pretty decent position. But I would have preferred to, if the race was a bit like last race. We had a very good battle with Alex Cattle, and Luke Rosella was on the earphones. He was telling me to get good all the time, so that was helpful. But yeah, made a mistake in the first race, so unfortunately couldn't bring it back to the finish line. And in the second race, well, I'm just cut for the guys. Well, for all of us, because we couldn't have a fair race. And you know, Ben Dahlia, he had good speed, and Alex Cattle had good speed. He unfortunately got it loose on the line, and you know, I was just too late for me to avoid him. So there were some very fast cars today in the field, but unfortunately, the front guys, we couldn't really have a decent race because of all the shenanigans happening at the back. But we'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, we said that as well, mate. We said we had 6 cars that were all very, very close in qualifying, and we were robbed of a race there as spectators, and you guys as competitors. So it's a bit disappointing. And the safety car did, other than the last incident, all come out for incidents that were absolutely monumental. So it wasn't like they were uncalled for, but a bit disappointing from some of the guys further back in the field and some of their driving. That's for sure. It robbed everyone of a good race.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unfair on the guys that you know organise a series when this sort of stuff happens. So Kurt and Cole, I know what it's like. You know, when you're racing in a series, and if you put something together and it happens. But you know, I think everyone will learn from this. I think the driving standards in the first race were very good. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the end of that, so my driving standard wasn't very good. But I think that the respect was there in the first race, and it's just sad that it wasn't in the second race as well. But I think you know, I won't be too harsh on everyone because it's only my first few races here, and you know, I'm not part of the furniture. I'm not going to make any judgments on anyone. But I mean, I think people will look at this and they'll think of it as improvement, and that's going to be the good aspect of it, Kurt.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. That's what I'm hoping we can gain out of this, is some people can actually have some looks at what they were doing wrong there and improve. I mean, it's the biggest field we've ever had in this series as well, which doesn't help. So it exacerbates poor driving because somebody does something in front of another driver, and it just creates a chain reaction further back. So hopefully you guys learn from this. But thanks for joining us, Hans, for the last 2 rounds, and well done on actually picking up a win.
Yeah, I should have brought my A game to the second qualifying session because we were all very close. But it was nice to get a 10 in the first quali, but race 1 didn't go to plan. But race 2, we'll take it. We had a very good race, and the racing at the front was very good, I found. So you know, it's not all doom and gloom.
Exactly right, mate. Thanks, and hopefully we see you next time at the Bend.
Yeah, it was.
That was Hans Brunswick, our race, but I'm going to drag Benjamin up next. Hi Benjamin, mate. P2 in that second race there. Didn't really get. He got pole position, surprisingly. Surprised us in that really close qualifying session, but didn't really get to have a fight there with Hans for that that win.
Yeah, it was a big shame. Going into that second race, I was thinking the top 4 of us, I think it was, within a 10th in qualifying, and we spent the whole thing behind safety car, so that was a huge shame, but big congratulations to Hans. He's been really quick all night. I think he definitely deserves a win.
Exactly right, mate. Yeah, he was definitely on the pace, but and was on the pace in the first race, but unfortunately made a mistake which put him out of the race. But good drive by yourself. I was very happy with your pole position, Ben. To get that pole position against those guys who'd been setting the pace, who'd been the like they've been pace setters all night, and it was a very tight session. But to get that lap in early and then hold the lap there, that you must be pretty happy to have been able to pole it against such a competitive group of guys there.
Yeah, that was definitely a positive. I'm really glad to have gotten that. But just seeing the amount of talent that was in the field tonight, I was just really focused on my battle with Latino in the championship. I'm not sure where it sits now with that 2 second places. I don't think he did too well in the first one, unfortunately. But yeah, tonight I think was just about conserving that position in the championship and trying to move forward as much as possible and not getting involved in any mess.
Well, exactly right, mate. You avoided the mess, and you definitely have pulled pulled margin over Latino in the championship, who unfortunately had a difficult night. He didn't have a difficult night as such, but he was involved in some incidents and didn't kind of have the night that he would have liked. So I'm yet to know what. And he also was involved in an incident that's under review for other stewards. So I'm yet to know where the championship stands, but I'd say it'll be very close between you guys for the lead of the series.
Yeah, that was the plan, to get as close as possible, and hopefully the next couple of rounds at the bend I think we're going to, we can pull in front and finish there.
Well, good luck, mate. We'll see you at the bend, and wish you all the best.
Thanks, guys. See you there.
I'm trying to remember who else got on the podium, because it's been an interesting night. I know Limich scored a podium in the first race. So, do you want to drag him up for a chat? Guys?
Yeah, we can drag him up for a chat.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good idea.
Limich, mate. Good podium in the first race. Unfortunately, second race didn't really go to plan for you. You ended up back in the field and then didn't really have any time to recover from that because of the safety cars. But how'd you find it out there in your first event?
Yeah, look, it was good fun. First race, I think I had a great battle at the start with the cattle, but then the safety car just kind of lost 2 positions off the start, but went well to the line. And then in the race 2, I have no idea what happened. I got a really good start, I think, and then out of nowhere just got turned and I was backwards going down the main straight, so wasn't great. And then just got caught up mid-pack, couldn't make it through anywhere.
Yeah, mate, it was a messy race too. You ran backwards there at the start, and then, yeah, unfortunately, you just really couldn't make any progress. Safety cars as well as other incidents that went on. So unlucky there in the second race, but well done on the podium in the first race. And will we see you again at the bend?
Thanks for I think I'll be at the bend.
No worries. We look forward to seeing you in the series in the future, because you put on a good result out there. So best of luck in the future, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, and thanks for putting it on.
No worries. Well, I'm sort of looking to who we can drag up. We've got
Alex
Can
Cattle.
drag
Alex
Cattle up.
Cattle. Yeah, Alex Cattle was our race winner. He's down in his own channel, but so I don't know if he wants to come up or not.
Sean Allen gave us permission to drag him up. So
Did he? Okay, so I'll drag Alex up. I'm trying to. Sorry, it's hard. So he's going to go through about 4 channels. Hi, Alex.
Hey,
Race
how
win.
you going?
Good, mate. Race win in race 1, and your first start in the Super 2 series, and then managed to recover back to 5th in that second one after all the drama. Tell us about it.
Oh god, I just gassed it up off the start and just spun. Yeah, totally my fault. Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. But yeah, recovered well up to 5th or 6th it was. But no, yeah, happy to be with the Super 2 guys. Bit of drama in that race, but I know we all pulled through, I guess. But the race win was good. Bit of a confidence booster. Yeah, and qualifying was pretty good too, I would say.
Yeah, mate. Well, we've seen you in the main for quite a while, so yeah, a bit different being in Super 2 and being up the front against some of these guys, which you would have raced some of them before. So yeah, how different is it?
Oh, yeah, it's very different. Even when I said I messaged you the other day, like I just thought the cars were different because the handling is different from Super 2 to main game. You can chuck the Super 2 car in a lot harder than the main game one. Well, for me, I could at least.
Oh, that's interesting to know because they're meant to be identical, but I've heard people tell me that.
Interesting.
It's interesting. I've had people tell me that. So yeah, so that's an interesting difference. But surely you've got a bit of confidence now heading back towards tomorrow night to have another go at this track.
Yeah, I've been doing some practice with Sean in the main game, and I've picked my pace up so much since that first round we had, and just build my confidence up. Like I'll go in tomorrow night feeling heaps better about where I can qualify and keep race. Like my race pace as well is good.
Yeah, your race pace was quite good in that race, and in both of them. So look forward to seeing what you can do tomorrow night and in the future if you continue to run in this series.
Yeah. As long as you're happy to have me in here, yeah, just provide some good qualifying. That was tight at that in Q2. It was really tight up the front.
Yeah, it's 1/10 separating the whole top 4, so
Yeah,
pretty amazing
crazy
scenes. Not something that we normally see in this series.
Yeah.
So it was pretty incredible, and
Yeah.
a bit unfortunate. It was six thousandths for the podium between those
Oh,
guys.
yeah,
So,
no,
yeah,
it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, no, it was good. Got the adrenaline pumping on that one, but it's right. Well,
certainly would have. So yeah, but bad luck in the second one, but best of luck in the future.
yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, see you then. Dragging back down. Alright, I'm going to bring Burko in just for a quick chat, because he's the last podium sitter, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Hi Steve, mate. You didn't make the first one, but you came in for what we're calling a race as the second one. Podium. How'd you find it out there when you were actually able to race?
Looking at it during the race was pretty good. Made a couple of lunge attempts at Dahlia, and I thought I had him through turn 3, but he ended up getting the power down and was better out of the exit. But yeah, on that note, it's a bit of a bummer to run yellow flag up until the end. I'm not sure what went on behind us or what went on particularly in front of us at the start of the race, but man, the standards need to improve a little bit. I'll tell you that right now.
Agreed, mate.
100% agree, mate.
100% agree. We're very disappointed up here, and we've given some people a razzing. The incident at the start was mainly Alex getting loose on the throttle and getting collected by Lime Mitch, and then that just was a incident that just continued. Some people didn't brake, some others did, and cars were airborne and whatnot. And then later on in the race, we had an incident with a car going round and a bunch of other cars not braking again, with the track jammed out of turn 3. And then we had 3 cars off in separate parts of the racetrack at that last safety car, so one of them blocking the track. So a lot's going on out there, all pretty much legitimate safety cars, so it's just really just piss poor driving that's what caused those yellows tonight, that basically meant that we didn't really get to see a race.
Yeah, it's a shame on that because, yeah, I was really looking forward to it after getting back from where I needed to be, and yeah, managing to make it on at least I carried a third, but still, I don't feel that was a race at all. That was just more of a demolition derby.
Agreed, mate. That's exactly how we feel. But was good to see you having a battle with Ben there and chucking the lunges when you did. It made it a bit exciting. Obviously, there was other exciting things that were going on, but at least it was good to see some exciting from some good racing, not from some average driving. So, well done on the podium, and we'll see you at the Bend. Hopefully, you can make it to those events.
Yep, thank you, and hopefully everything will improve.
Hopefully, it will.
Cheers.
Well, boys, 3 of yous in here. Not much to be said about that last race. I'm pretty disappointed.
Nah.
Speaking to some of the guys there, is equally as disappointed. And look, Thomas, you get a lot of crap in Maine for your driving, but
You look like an angel compared to that, mate.
you look like an
Yeah.
angel compared to what we've just seen. So, yeah. I don't even know where
There's
to
not much
review
you
it.
can do.
Not much you can do. Well, I'm glad we've ended this 4-week stretch of races. We've now got a little break to be able to dissect everything that's gone on in this little bit. Dissect tonight, because it needs to be dissected. It needs to be dissected and have a massive operation done to it. And hopefully we can come back in 2 weeks, I believe it is, for the Bend, with the 2 back-to-back races there, a bit more of an open track. Hopefully we can actually see something that resembles motor racing.
I hope so, mate. And I think we
Yeah.
will. I think once we have a talk to everyone, hand out some penalties and whatnot, people will start to pull their heads in.
Exactly
And
right,
if not,
mate.
then you know what happens next.
Yeah, well, there's a big button you can press. But yeah, I feel like it's not just penalties that need to be handed out. There's people that need to be spoken to as well, and conversations need to be had. And hopefully people can talk to one another and resolve issues as well. Like, because it's just disappointing. We had lots of cars out there tonight. It's a busy track. I understand that, and it exacerbates incidents the more cars you have in a race. But still, it's not. It doesn't mean that it's okay to have that going on, because we had a lot of multi-car accidents that were caused by just silly things happening that went into way too big. Scenes of Eastern Creek again, just stuff that we don't need to be seeing.
Agreed.
So, on that note, been a lot of whinging tonight from me. I've handed out a fair few character references, and both of us have, but it needs to be said. But
Agreed.
we'll be back, or we won't. We'll be back on the driver's seat tomorrow night.
Yep.
The professionals will be back here, hopefully with some actual racing. We should have some good drivers in that one. Some of these guys in that one. Hopefully, some that can not crash. And hopefully we have a race that's caution-free and resembles good racing, because that's what we all want to see. And this track produces really good racing, as we saw on the weekend in real life, and as we saw last week in this series. So it can happen, it will happen, and tomorrow night is set to be a cracker.
100%. Looking forward to it. How about you, Thomas? You looking forward to tomorrow?
Oh, I am. I feel like I went pretty good last week, so hopefully I can keep that streak up.
Yep,
and have a
100%.
good run.
I think there's about 8 of us within, except for Dane and Ethan, but from 3rd place to about 8th place, there was probably a 10th or 2 in race pace, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's really good to see, especially for the people watching the broadcast. There's always action, and it's really clean as well. So hopefully it's really good tomorrow night.
That's what we like to see. We like to see clean action, clean racing, with close driving and guys respecting one another. So
Well, besides when you put me in the fence, but we won't talk about that. So
well, I also put Sean Allen in the fence, and I'll take aim to it. I mean, I'm not an angel. We all drive poorly at times. We all make mistakes, but
and Tom fed me the fence as well, so
he did.
We love fences.
We do.
They taste good.
Look, there was a lot of dramas actually last round. Now I think about it, but some choice words said between the drivers. But that's racing. That's mistakes. Nothing that was particularly majorly harmful, unlike what we saw tonight. So hopefully we can see a good race. Anyway, until next time. Well, we'll be back here at the Bend. I believe you'll be back with us, Tom, at the Bend as well. You're
I will be.
part of the furniture now. So we'll see
Yeah, I'm
you.
the armchair.
You are the armchair. So we'll all see you when we get to the Bend in 2 weeks. So for our double header down in South Australia. Farewell, goodbye, good night,